Okay, today I'm going to show you how to take apart a Ruger SR22. This gun has been around for quite a while. We've had this pistol here for about 8 years. I've carried it. My dad has carried it. It's been on many fishing trips, many hunting trips, many four-wheeler rides, whatever you want to say. It has done it. This thing has probably 30,000 rounds of ammunition put through it. It has not had any major hangups that weren't ammunition related, but there have been a couple of small issues. Namely, one is magazines, but as I said, this is a going on 10-year-old gun now, and I'm still using the original magazines. Occasionally, I've had a hang-up where it didn't want to feed, but funny enough, it's only ever happened with Federal Auto Match, so it could be the ammunition still. And on the another little quirk we've had with it, twice now, this rear sight has come loose, and once when it did that, we had to send the entire slide back to Ruger, and they sent a brand new slide because something was wrong with this dovetail. It was not fitted correctly from the factory, and the sight would just fall out. So far, since it's been replaced, it's been pretty much fine. But yeah, those are the two little hangups I have with it. Also, it's just, this pistol's not the most comfortable pistol ever, but, you know, that's how it be sometimes. All right, so as usual, step one is going to be take the magazine out. You can depress from this side, like so, or from this side, like so. Doesn't matter. Now, I will say this magazine is loaded, but the chamber is empty because I checked that before the video started, but I only have 2 magazines for this, and they're both loaded, so wasn't going to unload it for the video, but don't be surprised. There it is. We're going to put that out of frame because I don't like having loaded ammunition anywhere near where I'm cleaning a gun. Now, for this part, for checking the chamber, you can leave the safety on, like so. Rack the slide back. We have no brass in the chamber, no brass in the mag well. Let's check again. No brass in the chamber, no brass in the mag well. Now, this safety works a little bit like a USP, but also not like a USP at the same time. Down is safe, up is fire, which is completely opposite from your 1911, your Taurus TX22, etc., etc. Look at the side of the gun. If you see red, that means it's ready to fire. If you don't see red, that means it's unsafe. From here on out, since we've already checked this, and we'll check it again, just to be sure, you have to have the safety off because it's very difficult to disassemble and reassemble this when the hammer, because this is not just a safety, it's a decocker. The hammer will not stay cocked while that safety is on. So for the most part, you need to have this off, safety off. And also, I will point out this gun has a magazine safety. So if the magazine is out, it can't be fired anyway, unless something is severely wrong. But next step, make sure your safety is off. And this lever here, you're going to flip it straight down, like that. Just stick your thumbnail under there and just flip it straight down. It'll be flush with the side of the frame. Now, you're going to grab the slide. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. I'm doing this just for demonstration purposes. But you're going to push backwards on the slide, like so. And you'll feel it kind of lift up, like that. Push upwards on it, and it'll close. Then all you got to do is wiggle. And sometimes it wants to get stuck. So lift the tail end of the slide and push forward, and it comes right off. Your spring will straight up just fall out. It can be a little bit of a pain. Set that aside. From here, this gun is entirely disassembled as far as it needs to be disassembled. You may need to get in here in this extractor. You'll want to lubricate that every now and then and take a bristle brush to it and maybe a can of compressed air if you got it, or a air compressor. Just hose it out. And then there's a screw. Trying to remember where it is. Let's see here. It's been a while. There's a screw in this trigger here, fastener, and that is your barrel tension. Occasionally, you should take a little Allen wrench. I'm not sure what size fits it off the top of my head, but you'll want to give that just a little snug, because if this barrel starts to come loose, your accuracy will degrade, and then eventually it'll just start jamming at random. Next, this is disassembled, so next we just got to get into reassembly. This is a little bit awkward. This spring here can come off if you pull hard enough. The small end goes towards the back, and the trumpeted style end goes towards the front. Do not get that mixed up. It will not work if you reverse the spring. So, step one, there is a hole underneath the barrel here, if it'll focus. There we go. There's a hole underneath the barrel there, and your spring needs to sit inside of that hole. The flat plastic end of your recoil spring assembly sits inside of that hole, like that. Just like that. It will kind of jiggle around. You'll have to keep the gun pointed upwards while you're doing this. Next, you're going to capture the front end of this trumpeted shaped spring in your barrel, underneath the barrel bushing here. There's a little place for the guide rod to slip through. You're going to capture that spring in there, like that. You're just going to jiggle until it goes in, push downwards, and kind of pull back. And then you're going to align this barrel. And it can be kind of a pain. Let's see. Let's try that again. Reassemble that spring. I hate this gun's assembly, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned it. I really like the Taurus for this. Now, you'll pull back, get this barrel aligned, and it'll kind of snap together like that. Pull all the way back, and then push down onto the frame rails, like so. Pull all the way back as tight as you can, and push down. Then, release, and kind of push forward, and rotate over, and close this lever. Do your function check. Slide locks back. Does the decocker work? The decocker does in fact work. No problems there. And your gun should not fire with the magazine out. That is a field strip of the SR22. It's a little bit harder than, say, the Taurus TX22, but it is a lot easier than, say, a Browning Buckmark or a Colt Woodsman, which I may do a video on in the future. Be sure to tune in next time when I send it back to Ruger 6 more times.